What are you doing?
Like, oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Player one. Prepare yourself.
Don't forget our gift cards at RitaYanez.com, and so am I.
Turn on the light! Turn on the light!
Hi there, Taurus. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 7th through 13th. I hope that your week is off to a good start, that you're feeling well, that you're looking forward to the holidays, and that everything is groovy in your world. Monday, we have the Three of Cups in reverse, so there's some kind of a falling out type of energy that's present, and it might not be yours personally. It could be that you're watching some friends have a falling out, which is what I think it really is going to be, and it could be that there are some problems with the adults in your home, although I really seem to feel like this is about some friends of yours. You might not even be over involved in it, but on the peripheral, it is very close to you. So there is something going on, and it would be best, if not wisest, to just kind of stay clear of whatever this drama is. We're starting off the week with some funky energy anyway. Neptune squaring Saturn, which we're still having that kind of flavor from the end of November. And then we've got the Uranus-Pluto square, which is only about a degree away from exact. So we still have this kind of shaking things up, disruption kind of, there's things going on that are just disruptive to the general flow. It will wane after about Monday, so things will start to get back to normal, although there's really no way to say what time zone at exactly what hour. If we know when one object is moving into a different constellation, then that area, okay, that horoscope area of influence, but you'd have to sit down to really split hairs, but don't dwell on it because it doesn't seem like there's much you can do about it. I think that the adults have a little more room to control things by either taking action or choosing not to take action, which is an action anyway. But in this case, I think it would be best for you to just kind of let it be what it is. We're starting off here also on Monday with Mars and Libra opposing Uranus and Aries, and Libra being your solar 6th house and Aries your solar 12th house. So there could be some information that does come to light, and it could relate to some of these people involved. Don't spread the information. Don't use the information in any way. Don't put it into a text message or post it on social media. Don't even allude to it in an Instagram post. Don't say anything, because you don't want to be drawn into this kind of drama, because trust me, it's probably not yours. If somebody came back and said, well, Rita, look, I surveyed 5% of the Taurus children, well, look, there could be people that are doing stuff, because at any time of the day, we could have a person deciding to just lose their temper. They're on the rag, something goes wrong, they're feeling swollen, or some guy got dumped by a girl and he decides to deck his mate in the face, so everything is happening in flux all the time. But this is where I'm trying to say I would really rather hear that you stay out of whatever this mess is and don't get drawn into it. Don't pick sides. Just say, you guys, why are you doing this to me? I'm in trouble at home on restriction. Look, oops, it's time to go. And then let it be at that. On Tuesday, you've drawn the death card in reverse. So obviously this is a situation that is somewhat long overdue. Maybe these friends, maybe this grouping, maybe this pairing, maybe it's a boyfriend or girlfriend of your own, or even if you aren't allowed to date, this is somebody who's a very close friend to you. Same energy. And there is something here that needs to change, or has been on the radar to need to be changed. You know, maybe you've got a friend that comes over and all she ever does is bring junk food. You sit there, you watch TV, you fall asleep, you fart, and then you've gained another pound. You guys don't really have to worry too much about your weight, but you do need to worry about how many calories you're ingesting that are empty, that don't have any kind of nutritional value other than empty calories, maybe some trans fats or something equally as frightening. And so maybe you need to have a talk with this friend to clear the air and say, look, this is bad for your skin and look at my behind, okay? So, you know, maybe there needs to be a talk about something like this, and that it doesn't need to become a very personal issue, but it could be like, look, I want you to come over, but can you bring lettuce and carrots? And if we're going to nibble on anything, let's nibble on the lettuce. That'll help us go to the bathroom. And the carrots, you know, are good for us anyway. So maybe there's some adjustments here, because there's an indication with your solar sixth house, of course, that you're not taking good care of yourself. By now, the adults know what they're doing wrong. If they're smoking, if they're drinking, if they're eating too much, if they're sitting too long, they're not dumb. They know. I mean, okay, so yeah, there's going to be pockets of people everywhere who don't realize that they're totally ignorant to what health standards should be, you know, in their lives. But you guys are young enough to where you can catch this thing and make sure that you nip it in the bud, that you make sure that you are not sucking down the colas. You know what I mean? Get some water in you. Buy a thing of distilled water here and there and drink only the distilled water. You don't need to go above, I think I've told you this before, but somewhere in the vicinity of about 3 liters. So, you know, those 2-liter bottles of soda, fill that thing up with water and then drink that. Don't go crazy and go overboard, because it can actually hurt you if you do that. I'm saying not to add that other liter in there, because you could be having soda, or excuse me, soup. Freudian slip. You could be having soup, you could be drinking tea, you might have a glass of some other beverage, you know, so somewhere around the vicinity of 2 liters for sure of water. And you could use those flavored drops that have just a little bit of sucralose in there. And, or if you've got access to lemons and limes, you can cut some slices here and there, or do the little cheat thing that I do, because limes and lemons are very expensive. Next time you're at the supermarket, check out to see how much they are, either a pound or a piece. And so you can buy those lemon concentrated drops that we use in soups and in different preparations. And you could put that in your water just to give it that little almost Perrier swishy swish, you know, to it. You could drop it in there and put something in it, like a piece of celery, and call it good. Put a red tint with the red water drops and call it exotic. There's a lot of other things that you can do. So just watch your health, because there's something here that needs to come to light, and it could be a health issue. Maybe if you haven't gotten over your first winter cold and you're still not feeling well, maybe you need to go to the doctor. So you could tell your parents, say, hey, look, I just am wondering when I'm ever going to get better. Is there something wrong with me? You know, you might get a sticker or a lollipop if you're good when you go to the doctor's office. On Wednesday, we've got the moon card in reverse. And I think that this is just pretty indicative of something that's latent under the surface that is happening, but you may not be completely aware of it. Again, if it's not your personal situation, this isn't the week that I would suggest you picking a side, because you could be picking wrong. And it would be better to stay out of the ring rather than to put yourself in anyone's corner. Ever see a fight where, you know, professional fighting, where somebody gets decked and, you know, there goes the ring girl, you know, no, not like that, but, you know, people can get hurt. So remember also here that at this point, Sun in Sagittarius is squaring Chiron in Pisces. And so there's something here, again, the indication of your social set, your friends, people that needs to be healed. And if you don't over-involve yourself in their problems, but say, I love you guys. I am not okay with you forcing me to pick a side. That's not even fair of you to do that to me. Please don't do this. I don't want to do this. I understand that you're hurt. Everyone can be hurt, but why don't we let this thing smooth over? Because there could be an element of misinformation in the mix here too, where you're jumping to conclusions. And I've done that before. I'm sure a lot of people have. So just stay out of the ring and you'll be fine. On Thursday, we have the 7 of Wands. At this point, Mercury, by the way, has entered Capricorn, your solar 9th house. So for those of you who are applying to colleges, trying to get your last shots at a few extra scholarships, because anything helps, and doing your paperwork for your FAFSA and your student loans and whatever you got to do, this will help you, because it will help structure your thinking. If you haven't felt like you've really been able to articulate what it is that you're doing, trust me, you'll find a major real quick to just fill in the blank. Don't worry about how accurate it is to the way you feel tomorrow or 30 days from now, because you can change it whenever it's necessary. It's just not necessary to declare a major and be sure with them. Oh God, because now for sure I have to be a proctologist, so don't worry about it too much. Seven of Wands shows me that you do indeed have it under control. On Friday, we have the Ace of Pentacles upright. That indicates that with this new moon in Sagittarius, again, your solar 8th house, that there is an ability to patch things up or maybe even help mediate. Don't get involved, but help mediate some friends that could be warring. And maybe it's you, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe it's your best friend, maybe it's your frenemy, but just do what's necessary to try to move it along. It doesn't mean that you have to take it out on anybody or that they have to take it out on you. And in fact, if anybody tries to do that, then you need to back away and recognize that you're not being treated with respect. So respect yourself, command respect, and then that way people will know that what you want is respect and you'll give them the same. Ace of Pentacles could indicate here too that you also could be offered a job, a position, temporary, whatever it is. Could be babysitting while people go off to do their Christmas shopping for their little brats, and you make a little money there. And so just remember, as long as you're babysitting for a family that is known to your family and guardians, and that you will not be alone and then come to find out you're babysitting a kid and somebody's slimy drunk uncle is in the back room. Make sure that you check everything out so that you're not in danger. Keep a cell phone on you at all times. You don't need anything fancy. I don't know why more parents don't do this, but Walmart Family Mobile, powered by T-Mobile, and unlimited everything. And so there's no need to get involved in something major, but you do need to have a phone on you in case of an emergency when you're at somebody else's house. When your parents drop you off to babysit or whatever, do a walkthrough and make sure there isn't anybody there. Know where the entrances and exits are to make sure if something really crazy like some kind of horror movie happens, that you know which direction to grab that baby and run. Saturday, we have the Four of Swords, and this is an indication that you may need to slow down and take a rest. After all, we've had Mars and Libra opposing Uranus and Aries, and this is, like I said, just a disruption. We also have the ability to smooth things over, though, because when Venus was in Scorpio, this is very helpful because you can even make sense of those difficult to understand situations where you can be like, look, I don't even know what these people's problem is, but I can tell that they don't have a problem with each other. They have a problem within themselves, like an insecurity, some kind of anger issue, which, it's not unusual to find angry Taurus people. I've seen a lot of them. It's not that they're angry by nature, but they're so determined. You guys are so strong and direct and dynamic. You guys can get a whole lot. In fact, you guys really should watch my mother cleaning. Even when to me, it's like, wow, I just finished washing walls, and my mother's the type that can go through all the walls in the house and the ceiling, and I'm sitting there catching my breath because I've done 4 walls in a small room. You got to see what this is like. It's very dynamic energy, very, very energetic. And so, you guys will be able to help smooth over some of these weird areas of possibly contentious dialogue between people. Again, I'm just not wanting you to be right in the middle of it. You're the peacemaker as observed with the Four of Swords. So don't get involved in other people's battles, other than if you know that somebody's going to get hurt or they're getting punked or somebody's going to rip their ass apart in a parking lot, then you need to call the police and you need to tell them, hey, look, I got word that there's going to be an ass kicking in this parking lot at 3:45, and I don't know, but what if somebody's head gets busted open, in a coma, dies, and then that other idiot ends up in prison for the rest of their lives? You'd be far better off making a call and saying, for my protection, please do not tell anybody that I contacted law enforcement. They're not going to rat you out. They just want to make sure that people don't be stupid is what they're going to try to do. People fighting and different things like that. Be the peacemaker. Stay out of the problems. Just do the necessary, the requisite, mandated reporting. In most states of the union, if you see abuse happening and you do nothing about it, you could get busted too. I've seen it happen, and I guarantee you it's not cool. Sunday, we've got the Nine of Cups upright, and this is a card that indicates that things are going to go your way, and I'm not worried about you. I'm more worried about you losing your temper or inadvertently saying something like one of those proverbial Freudian slips where you're like, no, I didn't say anything about you. I mean, your ass is the size of Montana, but whoa, and then it's already out there. So just make sure that you're watching your words, and there's no need to rush through any dialogue anyway. Practice being patient and hearing things out and listening to them and collecting the information without regurgitating it back to yet another person who could turn around and say, she's the one that said your ass is the size of Montana. And then all of a sudden we're having to call the cops because somebody's going to try to beat you down. So it's not really like a violent week or anything, but there is a lot of misunderstanding potential. I think that you need some time to identify where the problems are. Socially, I just really don't feel that you are the problem. I felt this with the adults as well, but not in the same context. I think that with you, though, it's much more obvious that you're not the problem. So don't let yourself get pulled into anybody's crap, because the only crap I want you to have fun with is if somebody gives you one of those stupid bags of, what is it, like popcorn or chocolate covered marshmallow, and they call it reindeer poop or something. I know white people do that. And I'm just kidding, because it was actually a white people thing, but there's a joke in my family about why I would refer to them as white people doing it, because I've seen lots of other people of different ethnic profiles doing it. But I want you to practice eating candy and enjoying your holiday season. Don't go overboard with your sweets, because Taurus, of course, we know you guys are foodies and you like food. Just make sure that you're being good to your body, that you get adequate rest, nutrition, good nutrients. Of course, you can enjoy the fudge, and of course, you can feel free to get sick on Christmas cookies. But remember, you have to at some point during the week balance that out with fruits, vegetables, and maybe some good old-fashioned potatoes.